Hello everyone, welcome back. So today I want to talk to you guys about what this new stimulus money means, right? So they're going to be giving out $600 stimulus checks, maybe increasing it to $2,000, whatever. Um, you know, most of you guys following this channel understand that when the government borrows money, they're actually printing money, right? They're printing it electronically, but they're creating new money, which by its very nature is inflationary. Okay, so most of the people that follow this type of stuff now are aware of it. Most of the people that don't follow it are not aware of it. They think that when the government says they're borrowing money, that they're actually going to try and pay it back at some point. Whereas most of us are aware that they're just creating new money and that's what it is. So a good way to explain this to people that don't understand, right, is by using fractions. Okay, so I have a bunch of fractions here: 1/2, 2/4, 4/8, 8/16. Right. So you guys, if you remember from your fractions class when you were in school, all these numbers are the same thing, right? 4/8 is the same as 1/2, right? All these numbers reduce down to 1/2. So on the top line over here, that's the new money, right? That's the $600 stimulus check, or the $2,000 stimulus check, or even if they gave you $10,000 or $1,000,000, it doesn't make a difference, right? That goes on the top line. On the bottom line is the debt inflation, right? So whatever you increase the top line by, you also have to increase the bottom line by, right? So if you start off with 1/2, right, and then you print up new money, right? You give the people a stimulus check, or you increase your government spending, right? So the top line goes from 1 to 2, right? And then the bottom line, the debt, increases by the same amount. So you go from 2 to 4, okay? So everybody that understands fractions knows that 2/4 is exactly the same as 1/2. It's just that anybody that really doesn't understand mathematics thinks that because these numbers are bigger, because 2/4 is, the numbers seem to be bigger than that, they're gonna think that this is a bigger number for some reason, right? Well, not because they don't understand, right? So same deal down the road. They decide they're gonna print up new money, give more stimulus out, more government money. So the top number goes from 2 to 4, bottom number goes from 4 to 8. So 4/8 is the same as 1/2, right? And then down the road further, they decide to increase the number. For top line goes from 4 to 8, bottom line goes from 8 to 16. So now we have 8/16. Same thing. 8/16 is still 1/2, right? It has the same value, right? It's just that to some people this looks like a bigger number, right? Because they don't fully understand mathematics. Okay, so that's what the stimulus check is. Now, some people might be like, well, hey, but listen, I actually got a $600 check that I can use to pay my bills or go buy something, right? So, I actually have money in my hands and buying power that I previously did not have. Can you explain that to me? Okay. Well, here's the way I explain it to people. Okay. People, businesses are in a position to charge whatever they want to charge, right? So now, so on a simple level, you would say that, hey, businesses can increase the prices, right? They're going to increase it accordingly, but then the person's going to come back and say, hey, I didn't actually see the price go up, right? I don't see major price increases. What's happening there? So here's the thing: most businesses overcharge, right? And then what they do is they give sales or markdowns, right? So like Walmart calls it a rollback. If you go to most supermarkets, they have a weekly sale, whatever. So most businesses will overcharge, right, as part of their standard pricing policy, because they don't, they're not sure what the government's going to be doing that week or month or quarter or year. So by overcharging it, they're in the position to give sales without making it look like they're playing around with the prices. Okay, so same thing with the car dealerships, right? Dealerships, give car buying incentives, right? Supposedly 2020 was a terrible financial year, and yet most car dealerships were not giving buying incentives, right? They didn't need to, because people were getting those stimulus checks. You had a lot of people on unemployment getting more money than if they were actually working, right? So a lot of people being on unemployment in 2020 meant making more money than if they had actually been been working their regular job. So the car dealerships, they did not give buying incentives. Like you saw, let's say back in 2008, 2009, you didn't see anything like that, right? So that's how this works out. As the government increases the money supply, okay, businesses are aware of this, and what they do is, if people got more money in their pockets, nobody's a fool. Everybody wants that money, so everybody's going to increase their price. So you don't actually get richer. You don't advance. Okay, so in order for a stimulus check to be real, right, or in order for you to actually advance, what they would have to do is they would have to give you more money by taking it away from somebody else. So if they were going to give out the $600 stimulus checks to everybody, and do it by taking the money from Michael Bloomberg, right, or taking money from Bill Gates, now you would actually be getting richer because he's getting poorer, you're getting richer. So you're advancing, right? I mean, by a small amount, but that is real wealth creation for you individually, right? Another way to look at it is, let's say you're in a tournament, right? Some type of a fighting tournament. There's 20 people in the tournament, right? The only way that you can move up in rank is for somebody to move down, right? So wealth is the same way. The only way you can truly advance is by somebody moving down, because the wealth is sort of relative. Like, if you think about it, your position in society is really determined by where you are, who's below you and who's above you, right? So let's say you're making $15 an hour, okay? Well, you know that you're making twice minimum wage, right? You're not making $30 an hour, right? But you're making twice minimum wage, and So what happens if everybody's getting minimum wage? Okay, so now all of a sudden you're getting $15 an hour, but the guy that was getting $7 an hour is now getting $15 an hour. So what's happening is you've actually been demoted. Okay, so if everybody, if the minimum wage goes, let's say, from $7 to $15, and you've been making $15, well, now you're making minimum wage, right? The guy that was at the bottom is now at your level, or rather, you are at his level, right? So that's what, that's how that works out. So in order for you to advance, right, you gotta look at what the guy who's making $30 an hour, what's he getting now? Because the guy who's making $30 an hour, he's gonna say, I want $60 an hour, right? So what happens here is, if the guy that was making $7 an hour is now making $15 an hour, and the guy that was making $30 an hour is now making $16 an hour, well, in order for you to hold your position, right, well, you better start getting $30 an hour. Okay, so that's how that works out. I hope I didn't make that too confusing, but ultimately, it's not a question of how much money we're getting paid. It's really a question of how many people are below us and how many people are above us. That's our place in the tournament of life, right? And then we're all trying to advance, right? And the only way you really advance is by bringing somebody, for somebody else falling down or coming down the ladder. So I hope this was useful, but I think that this fraction system is a good way to illustrate to people, what the stimulus money really means. You increase the top number, but the bottom number is also increasing. So in the end, there's no real wealth creation. Okay, 1/2 is the same as 2/4. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're not a member of the channel, subscribe. I'll talk to you guys soon.